All right, so Justin LeBoy, or LA Boy, however you say this guy's name, he posted up, I'm convinced men be scared of women who got their shit together. Britt.
I agree. I do. I agree with that. I don't know if, because it just seems like the men, like a woman who got her job, who got her house, who got everything put together, it seems like those are the women that have the hardest time finding a man that is even on her caliber. And it's just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if men find it intimidating, whether because they feel like they're not needed, or, you know, they feel like she's coming with it all to the table. So what can I what does she need me for? But what does she need me for if she can do it all herself? But I don't know. I feel like sometimes being that strong, independent woman has worked against us. It's hindered us in some kind of ways. It's made us more empowering, but it maybe have hindered our dating chances. I don't know.
For some women don't have a choice.
I'll say this, right? When you say, oh, I don't know if it's them being intimidated, if it's this, those type of women are normally dating down. They have to date up. Date a guy who is making more than them or doing better than them, and that won't be an issue. But those type of women are not doing that. They're dating.
I don't even think it's that.
It is.
I feel like there is.
So they complain. They complain about it.
I think the thing that they complain about is, I think those type of women, the reason a lot of times we see them single is because they haven't learned how to allow a man to still be a man. They come in with this independent mentality of, and they have to realize that we as men, we want to still feel needed. We still want to feel. So a lot of times those women are so headstrong that they don't allow a man to be a man in the relationship. So that's why I think they're single. It's not that we're scared of those women, because, you know, me, I'm on my grind. Luckily, I have a wife that's on her grind as well. So that way it complements each other. But she still allows me to be the head of our household. Some of those women don't do that. They want to still be like, well, I made it. I got to this level without you. I don't need you for nothing. Okay, well, go be by yourself then.
Right. That's so true, Daniel, because I know a lot of women that are like that. Some of them have been in situations where they've been with a man that's made more money and maybe the man lost their job. So now they have to kind of take that role of taking care of the bills in the household. And when some women are in that position, when they're doing it for so long, it just kind of becomes a habit for them. And when they move on to another relationship, you know, it's hard when you spent 14 years being independent, having to hold down the house. And not saying that the husband or the boyfriend at the time wasn't doing his part, but in those cases where you have women who legitimately are holding down the household and then they get into another relationship, they spent 14 years having that role, doing that same thing and being so headstrong and so independent. So I really do feel bad for women that's in that situation, because you're right, Daniel. Men need to have that affection and that attention. You know, we have to still.
I told Netta that the other day on the phone, and she disagreed with me, actually.
Netta, wait, so Netta, what do you think? What do you think?
No.
But she don't want to disagree with Daniel today on the show.
Yeah, let's go, Netta. Let's do it. I've been waiting on this one.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying, Daniel and Chanel.
Yeah,
about,
I'm setting it up. Go ahead.
Wanting to feel needed. But I mean, also too, it could be like a defense mechanism for a woman, right? Mm-hmm. Like maybe, you know, she doesn't want to, you know, have to get caught out there, or, you know, rely on someone to then they betray her. You know, men ain't always the, you know, most loyal or whatever. So, you know, if things fall apart, you know, she don't want to be stranded out there, not being able to fend for herself or whatnot.
Over the full reins. It's still, you can still have your money, be on your business, but allow a man to still be a man. It's not necessarily about giving up or letting them walls down. You just need to allow that man to still be a man. Yeah, now if something happens, you still got something to fall back on, because you still have been taking care of business and doing what you need to do. But that man also, no man wants to be in a relationship where he can't be a man.
Right.
Right.
Well, what exactly, like when y'all say be a man, like what
run that shit, run the household, call the shots, everything.
It should also be a team.
I say go make me a hamburger, go make me a hamburger.
No, see, Terrence.
You know, T on something else over there. But what I'm saying is like, as the head of the household, if me and Brittany were married, I would go to Brittany and say, look, here's some options that we have as a family. But at the end of the day, I want her to be able to trust if I make a decision that I'm doing it for the best of our household and for leading us forward. I don't know what T talking about make me a burger and make me all that. But I'm just saying you still have to allow a man to be that, you know, a man. Because we all know women really run the household. Right. Y'all just allow us to let us think that we're the ones navigating and doing things. And if you too strong to let a man even feel like that, he don't want to be with you. He gonna go out there and be with the chick that ain't got nothing because she letting him be a man.
So then Daniel, I mean, we're speaking on that. We talk about women being headstrong. No, because we talk about women being headstrong, and then the man, you know, a woman's too headstrong, I need some space. But yet you have people like Willie T from Day 26 and his wife Shauna. Them two have been going back and forth with each other on Instagram because Willie just lost his father. Shauna, she had lost family members, and it's caused so much stress in their relationship to the point where homeboy dipped away. He's like in the mountains in Arizona. They live in LA. And he said he needs a break. He needs space because mentally it was like he was depressed and, you know, suicidal. And now Shauna is the wife, right, but she has to be at home with the kids, and she's also stressing too. So when does she have time to de-stress? When does she have time to heal and get better? He has the chance to go out there, but what about her? And that's even more dangerous because she also has the kids with her too.
Why do we always have to say, what about her? What about her? What about
her?
Because guys can't do anything for themselves without it being spent around, what about her?
If she was to do that, she'd be a bad mother.
Right.
Yes, there's a situation when you got kids, right? We got kids, we're in a family. You decide to leave off because you need your space.
A break from your mouth, from you.
A break. Okay, say that wow. You need a break from my mouth. Where's my break?
Where's my break?
I'm out here taking care. You got to leave and go to the mountains and clear your head. I'm at this house still dealing with whatever issue that we left off on.
Still holding down the house.
Look. Right. Let me leave. Let me leave for a weekend. I'll come back, and then you can go with your girls and do what you got to do.
But that's what Willie should have done. Instead, he just dipped. And I feel like no man in that situation should just dip. But it also goes to, I don't know how toxic their relationship was, because it seems like he tried to communicate with her.
They toxic. Yeah,
but it sounds like he tried to communicate with her. He still took care of the bills. He was still talking to his kids, but he just needed a break. Because I know I lost my father last year. I know how it goes and the space that you're in and how to communicate. But you know, it sounds like they were already, like she was nagging and wasn't really seeing his feelings in that sense. The way it seems, we don't know what really happened. But you know, she was nagging him, and he just like, look, I can't get out my damn ear. Let me go out here to Nevada real quick and do it. But it's still a better way he could have communicated.
But what about her choices too? But what about her then too?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said he could have communicated it better, because he could say, hey, I'm gonna go out here to Nevada, get some help. When I come back, you go get the help you need.
Right.
Do it together though. Why can't they get a babysitter? It's like, you know, we both are really stressed out. Why don't we do it together? Not him go his separate way. She's still depressed too. It doesn't help that she has to also stay home with the kids. Not saying that she wouldn't do that job, but I mean, there has to be some kind of compromise. At least you're married, and it's toxic. Don't get me wrong, but I just personally feel like, just from watching them on the previous shows, I don't see why they're even together, because I just feel like she has a lot of trust issues with Willie. You know, he's trying to make it work, and it's just, I don't know, it just seems too complicated.
No, I want to go back to the original question real quick, because there was a comment under that post, right? Somebody had wrote, women who get or got their shit together feel like they're not supposed to still be the woman in the relationship, right? Because they got everything together. Now, what do you guys think about that?
That is so deep. Wait, go ahead, Shannon. What was you going to say?
No. I mean, I feel like it's just the same question as just reworded.
But you just feel like, I mean, what this person is saying, you still have to be the woman regardless.
No matter what.
You got no matter what, if you got
it's the same thing as saying, okay, you have to let the man be the man. You want to stick to roles. If that's your relationship and you want to do roles and but what, then y'all need to sit down and write down, constitute what is being the man, what roles being a woman. Because if you want to be, I mean, technical,
but I
feel like a partnership.
Right. What I think she's saying in that situation though is like the woman still has to be the woman. The woman is the nurturer. So even when they're going through it, women sometimes have to still put this facade on as if they've got it all together. Women don't necessarily always get to, and y'all know y'all are women.
But
y'all
that's
don't
not
always
okay,
get
Daniel.
That's exactly
Y'all,
right.
that's what I'm
not
saying.
okay.
But why is that not okay?
Why is it not okay? Because it's
Yes.
just, well, first off, okay, let me not be petty. I didn't ask to be here. I asked to be a woman. You understand? I didn't ask for that. I just so happened to be a woman. So then you have these values that's put on a woman. Well, women, you're the nurturers. I get it because we give birth. I understand that. And I'm not
your
saying
child
that
needs that from you.
And I'm not saying that they don't need their mother. But what I don't understand is that there's not every relationship is like that. There's some relationships where it's like, yo, the man is really the woman in a relationship, and it's common. Everybody likes this old traditional form of, well, the woman are nurturer, so it doesn't matter how the woman's supposed to feel. It's just you got to deal with it and let the man be the man. Like I personally don't like that. I don't think that it's fair, to be honest with you. Because
it should be a true relationship, or even a marriage should be. It shouldn't be about, each of us have our qualities that are stronger than the other, and we should play off of that. So
not make it based off the roles.
I know.
Yeah, because like for me, I take my daughter to school every day. I pick her up most days because my wife is working. I cook and then she cooks. It's not more or less, hey, I'm doing this, you should be cooking. We
because
both
that's the woman, right?
Yeah, we both pick up the slack for each other when we see each other falling short. So if I'm having a rough week and she sees that, she says, hey, let me take our daughter to school and stuff today so you can actually rest. And then vice versa. And that's how it should be in a relationship. It shouldn't be where, hey, she needs her hair done, go see your mama.
Right, but bro, listen.
Thank you.
I mean, some of these women, okay, and he's so perfect again in season 2.
No,
But we'll say this.
No, I couldn't say
Some of these women are so lazy that they don't want to do anything. They just want the guy to do everything.
And some are like that.
Everything.
You're right to say
that.
Some are like that.
You got to get the hell out of my house.
There you go.
But then, I mean, that's on both ends, though. And I know, T, you hate, oh, well, what about her? I know you hate that. But you can't make that comment because that's on both ends. You have some men that are just so lazy. They don't want to do nothing.
Speak on it, Brittany.
Have sex, take care of the kids, make sure the house is together. Like, it's a lot. And I agree with you. Like, I didn't ask to be a woman. So why am I put all these, not I want to say burdens, but all these like stereotypes are put upon me just because how I was born. Now I have to.
Okay.
Yo, the first thing a man do, a lot of times you date these men, the first thing they ask is, can you cook? Like,
yes, because that's what I need. That's what I need from you. I
don't care. I don't care about that. I cook better than most women. So,
I
will cook you under the table. So sometimes I don't even want
you gotta cook something. You gotta know how to cook something.
His stomach. Okay, right?
Right. So can you build a house? Can you build me a house then?
We got YouTube. We got YouTube and we got Twitter. I'll find a way to get you a house, baby girl. I will find a way.
Make sure you can eat. I'll make sure you get fed tonight. How about that?
That's right.
I don't always want no Postmates. I don't want no Grubhub all the time. I want you to cook. There's nothing better.
Build me a house. Okay.
There's nothing better if your woman bring you a hot plate and say, hey, this is for you.
I just hate how the light is shined on the African American community so much, because when you look at a lot of these white households, like the man goes out and he's working these jobs, he don't never be home really to see the kids and to do all that. Whereas you got a lot of black households where we're actually grinding, putting it in and doing in this, we're always put under this stereotype. And it's like, wait, talk about little Johnny that never sees daddy, that's got a maid that's at the crib taking care of them, which most of them are black people who we're raising their kids. Right. So that's the thing that I think is the misconception that we get a lot of times, is that, hey, this isn't portrayed out there in the media how it should be, because we taking care of y'all kids, coming home to take care of our kids. So
absolutely. That's right.
So two more points to this before we close. Going back to another comment underneath there. The guy said, yeah, I really don't get it. We are not equal. We treat each other with equal respect, but equal in a relationship is not reality. I wish more of you understood that.
That's right.
When you say they're not,
because you talking about what physicality, like, but what is he saying about that? Because
that's what I'm saying.
We are different. Context. He's right. We are different, but when we talk about a relationship, it's there has to be some kind of mutual compromise, understanding, agreement. But if he's talking about physical attributes, then he's right. and equal
Yeah, I
rights.
need
I
more
mean, what?
context because if
Right.
he's sitting there thinking a dude's supposed to just sit his ass around the house all day, just go to work and come home and don't do nothing else, he need his ass whooped because that's not.
But Daniel,
that's not
but
what
men,
it is.
but I know men that's like that now, where
But they
they
need-
literally
they need
go
to
to
sit there-
work, they lay at home, put their feet up, eat dinner, watch sports, don't do nothing. The
Let
wife,
me
she
talk
has
to
to
that
work.
man.
No, but then the wife still has to work. The wife still got to take care of the kids and do the laundry and cook and do all and take out garbage while the
So
man is
maybe
just
he's
sitting on the
right, we're
couch
not
watching sports.
But that's what I'm saying. That's
Listen.
that old mentality way of thinking of where
Right.
It needs to be the new way as well.
no,
And that's
for
why
me,
a lot of people not getting married out here.
It's
if
a
I'm
question.
off, I
Wait,
feel like
what?
if
Should be
I'm
the
off
first
all
date
day
question.
and my wife had to go to work, she shouldn't have to come home and lift a finger. It should be the same way of how I want her to treat me. So when she comes home, hey babe, I already took care of the kids. Homework is done. I picked them up. I'm about to,
Right.
dinner's already made because the same stresses that they deal with at work, we deal with too. So I would always
Not on the
Yeah.
same
if
level,
you've
brother. Not on the
been
same
off
level.
all day,
You know
just
it's
chilling,
different. You
take
know it's
care of
different a
me,
little bit.
and then let's go from there because that's how it should be. That's when you get that give. It shouldn't be about give and take. Give and
Right.
take. Your relationship is built
Exactly.
on the wrong things.
Right. Absolutely.
And the last point that I want to put out there, and Charnetta has said this the other day. She didn't say it today, but she said men don't know how to lead. So what do you do in that regard with those men? Yeah, you did
Yes,
say
yes. That was my
Don't
I
tell
do
me.
remember
I
it.
feel like I'm
I
laughing
said
on
some
this
men don't know
podcast.
how to
Mm-mm.
lead. Yes.
Right. You know,
I
some
agree.
are-
Today's men probably do have a huge issue with leading because I feel like that all went to being raised in the right household, being shown the right things, being, your father being there. Unfortunately, a lot of men that are at our age, their fathers weren't there for whole different reasons. That's changed a lot. But men that are our age, that's in their 30s, more times than not, their father wasn't there. So that dynamic of seeing a man and a woman in a household and how it's run, a lot of people didn't see that firsthand. So when it comes to a man's perspective, I don't feel like a lot of men know how to lead a household. I feel like a lot of women, specifically Black women, we put ourselves, and not saying that it's right, but it's just kind of how society, we've taken control of the house and we've become the leaders of the household because this is how it's going to be, and we kind of shape and move the household. But I agree. I feel like a lot of men don't know how to lead. Not saying,
but
by their
I mean,
own-
is it a woman's place? Is it a woman's place to even say something like that? Oh, men don't know how to lead. Like I can just
Is it a
turn to you.
woman?
Hold
I
on.
don't
Yeah, is it
know.
a woman's place? And like I'm supposed to turn to you and say, "Hey, baby, can you tell me how to lead? Can you teach me how to lead?" A woman can't even teach a man how to lead. So how can you say something like that?
Some certain things is different. You have certain guys that grew up without a mother and a father, and there's certain things that they wasn't taught from the women.
That's who I want to hear from.
I'll say this, T.
Go in, Charnetta. Let us hear.
No, I'm just bugging off the fact that he said, "Is it a woman's place to
say something like that?"
To
Your
say
brother, you don't know how to
something
lead.
like that.
How can you say that?
What do you mean? How can you say that? It's
Okay. So if he threw back at you, okay, so sister, teach me how to lead then. What are you going to say?
It is my responsibility, like raising sons, to help them. Yeah.
No, I'm not your
when
son. I'm your husband or I'm your boyfriend, right? And I say, hey, girlfriend or wife, teach me how to lead. What do you need?
So I'll tell him what I need, but he needs to have mentors or something to go out. But I wouldn't even say that to like somebody who's out here. That's like for people, for guys who are out here like doing nothing and expecting the woman to do everything, and they're belittling woman.
Yeah, I agree with you with that.
Oh, you need to be doing this. Oh, you need to. Like,
I agree with you with that.
It's more toward that, not just all. You know what I'm saying?
But I would say we as men have to do better at trying to stop saying, "Hey, our father wasn't there," because there was a time in my life where my dad wasn't there.
Right.
But I grew up in a community to where my next door neighbor, he taught me how to tie a tie.
There we
Another
go.
guy on my
There we
street taught me
go.
how to change oil.
That's
Another
right.
guy on my street taught me how to fight. So it's like, if you don't have that in your household, if you know as a man, you know what you're lacking. So as a man, I feel like it's your responsibility to go out there and find a mentor, or find somebody to fill that void for how you're not what you know you need help on.
And bro, there's some women where you can tell them, hey, my dad wasn't there. I don't know how to tie a tie. I don't know how to fix a flat. They will toss that in your face. Yo, how you a man and you don't even know how to tie a tie? How you a man? You don't know how to fix a flat. Just
What kind of
I
woman
think
is
it's better
that?
too
That's
on us as
ridiculous.
throwing the
men.
daggers at you.
We need to start looking at, because like for instance, I saw a man and a woman walking down the street the other day, and the woman was closer to the road
On
than
the
the
outside.
man. And I looked at him and I said, hey, can I holler at you for a second? And I pulled him to the side because I didn't want to do it in front of her because she
Right.
would have used that against him. But I told him, hey, this is why it was done. This is how it was explained to me on why it was done and how it was done. Like my wife and my daughter know. We're out and we're walking and we get close to a street side. What side of me are you? And I'll remind them, we'll be walking. I'll say, hey, what side of me are you supposed to be on? And then they'll move and get onto that side. So after I told him that, he went and corrected, and she was like, what did he say to you? He's like, no, we had a man-to-man conversation at that moment, because he was like, bro, nobody's ever told me why. He's like, I've always just heard this, but nobody actually told me why.
See, if it's me, I would have said it in front of his girl to be like, yo, you pick this guy. I'm gonna tell you that your man ain't your man that he's supposed to be.
You a savage.
I'm gonna say directly in front of her, and I'm not even gonna care. I do that
but
all
I think
the
we
time.
have to realize that some people's culture is just that because they haven't seen anything outside of that. So we don't know what they've been taught. So before I attack you in front of somebody, I'd rather pull you. Now, if he would have got to the side and been like, man, how the hell are you gonna sit over here as a man and try to? Because I came to him correct, and I understood. Like I was like, if I came to you different, and you respond differently. But then he was like, bro, I really respect that, because he was like, I hate it just being told this is how you do it versus being taught on, hey, this is how it should be done. So, it's just it's all about us as men too, trying to help our brothers out when we see that they are doing something or leading in that perspective. We gotta, hey, bro, I ain't trying to call you out, but
do you do that for white men too, or just for black men?
Should be doing.
Do you do that for white men too?
Yeah.
Daniel, what you just said was perfect.
He's so
Don't
perfect.
limit it to a certain. He's perfect. What he said was great.
I gotta go. After I lost my dad last year, it was more or less of we got to be better at what we do in the black community as far as how we are helping our young boys come up. Because I see it, these guys be sagging, showing their butts and everything else. And I'm like, hey, there's a way to sag and there's a way to do it to where it's presentable. But you got to realize, bro, I don't want to see this or that. Like, you got to realize you are, at Walmart, you may meet somebody that's your future employer. And you may go into your interview and walk in and sit down and be like, oh, you the dude from Walmart that was trying to,
I don't understand that. Why do they sag their pants? I don't understand that. Why is your booty out? Like, why is your cheeks out?
Brittany, Chanel, and Charnetta should be doing the same thing for younger girls as well.
Yeah. Oh, not a problem.
You see these girls out here with bonnets on and flip-flops and eyelashes? Tell them to take that shit off.
Oh my God, I knew he was gonna throw that.
Tell them to take that shit off.
He hates them eyelashes.
They got to. It's we got to do our part in order to uplift our community and
we do.
A lot of stuff that was taught to us by the old folks. We used to think the old folks were getting on our nerves, but now
they know what they was talking about.
Oh, now I see why you was doing this. Now I see why this was done. Makes sense now.
All right, so D got to go because he got to catch a flight to South Carolina. He's flying on Southwest.
Petty.
He's on Southwest, so hopefully he make it back for the next show.
Oh my God.
Southwest is cool.
Treat it like a spirit,
Saturday.
Lord.
Right.
Yeah,
like
It's right here.
All right, we're out of here. Peace.